your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is GailofGaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and we have wonderful guests. And my wonderful guest today, of course, is many people's favorite, Jenny Lee. So let me bring her on. Welcome,
Hey,
Jenny.
how's it
How are
going?
you?
Good. It's
What's
raining
going?
here in Minnesota. It keeps raining.
Oh,
Are you
my
there?
sound don't sound right. But anyway, I might have to fix that. But hang on one second while I do that. I don't know why it doesn't sound right. Okay, that's why. Okay, that should help. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, that's much better. It was on my Bluetooth instead of on the microphone and speaker here. So
Okay,
it's all good now. We're back.
good.
So, what's new and exciting with
I
your
don't know. You
world?
were getting ready to tell me something, so we can talk about that first.
Oh, well, I just ran into some extremely interesting information. I just barely had a chance to go over it. I just noticed it just before the show started, and it is about the fact that there's some filings on UCC that make it unlawful, illegal to use our birth certificates for anything. And that would really require standing down on a whole lot of things.
Right.
Let me share my screen and show you something from X. You may have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, you may want to see it. So bring that on. And this is basically what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can read it all.
It's a file recording.
Yes.
County clerk office index verification via public record.
Yes, that's the thing about it. Wait a minute, yeah. It's let me scroll it a little bit. All institutions holding, trading, or benefiting from fraudulent birth certificate securities are now subject to liens enforcement and lawful asset seizure. This lawful claim is now globally enforceable. The 30-day rebuttal period applies, after which full enforcement begins under commercial and lawful jurisdiction. The filing is binding. Do you realize how big this is? This is a public notice. UCC up here. It's a legal filing establishing an irrevocable claim over all assets, transactions, and derivatives tied to fraudulent financial instruments associated with birth certificates is now recorded and enforceable under international, commercial, and natural law.
So they can't use this as a stock anymore. So that means they have to give it back to their original owner, which is us, ourselves.
Exactly. And they can't be every time, as soon as a cop stops you, the reason they want your ID is because they are setting up the way in which they attach your trust account. And then it's attached to a statute, and it's attached to a bond, and it's, and from there it goes into your trust account and basically steals money from you.
Right.
And there is another, let me share a different one. There's one other one that came up that I can show you, and you can, I don't know how long it is. Let me see. This is fascinating. I mean, do you realize, everybody, that, I mean, the birth certificates are used all over the place and everything. That's how the debt slavery really started.
Yeah. the bond of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me, wait a minute. I thought this was this one here. Let's see. I don't know. This is 6 minutes. Would you like to see it?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's watch it.
And open for other people. I always talk about the UCC, which is the Uniform Commercial Code. Now, this Uniform Commercial Code, you would imagine, because it's commercial, has no bearing on us. Now, for a long time, I've researched and looked into this whole straw man scenario where all of your bills and your licenses and your passport and birth certificate and everything, your name is in capitals. And there are political parties in Australia, independent freedom parties, who say if any of these core flutes have names in capitals, you shouldn't vote for them, because that's not us. Your birth name is in English. You know, if it was Nicola, it's a big N and then small letters. And these capitals represent commercial. Now, they have been trying to draw humanity into corporate law, commercial law, for a long time. I believe ruthlessly it's behind the trans agenda and all of this identifying as other things, because once you publicly declare and legally declare, you know, I identify as a bridge or a cat or a puppy, you're actually taking yourself out of man-woman status legally, and once you do that, you're seen differently by the court. So a legal precedent has been set by a guy in Texas yesterday. Right now, all of this UCC commercial code, look it up, do your own research, has been allowed to fraudulently use us, human beings, as secured collateral for a long time, probably at least since 2014. Now, they've been able to do this lawfully because there were legal precedents for it, and yesterday the legal precedent ended. So let me read to you what has happened. You can look it up in the press. The UCC has now defaulted to the UCC 1. This is the, I'm not over-exaggerating when I say this is the biggest news humanity, human beings, have ever received since the birth of Christ. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. This is the end of slavery. Right. So basically, the headline is mankind is free. A guy called Govinda Tidbal, I think he's of Indian heritage, but he's a Texan guy. So he says that there was a birth bond issue, and he was looking into it, and this is a straw man thing. So he was worried that it was a corruption lever, and as he looked into it, he realized it was. So it's the securitization of the living as a credit value on the dead. Sounds quite confusing. What does that mean? But it means that the living must pay for the dead. So cue the pandemic, right? The living are paying for the dead. So what it basically means is he has children, and once he'd learned all this information, his wife was pregnant and he was about to have a son. When the son was born, because he'd learnt all of this, he, in his birth plan that he gave to the hospital, part of the birth plan was that the family get to keep the cord and the placenta. This is going to sound crazy, but this is what's happened with this UCC1. Because he'd learned that the UCC, the Uniform Commercial Code, and courts in America had deemed the cord and the placenta, which at the time of birth are alive. They then ask you to, they say to you, would you like to cut the cord? In the moment that you say yes and you cut the cord and the placenta become a deceased twin of the living baby. This is how dark and greedy these people are. Financial institutions are behind it. What they then do is enslave the living child as a secured creditor to pay the debts of the dead twin, which was never a twin. It was a placenta and a cord. Can you believe this stuff? Let me read on. So he said, your fraudulent birth certificate is a corporatization of you, the living, right? And apparently 100 years ago, there was a guy called Edward Mendel House, and this was the evil way to kill the spawn of people at the moment of birth. And then it goes into the umbilical cord and what I just explained. He said it's all about property ownership. he said, if you own a piece of silver and keep it as a piece of silver, it holds its value. But if you mix it with gold, it's considered corrupted. So this is what they were trying to do with us. It's securities fraud. It's a fraudulent security. And he claimed in court, Govinda, that the biological property of his child is his in the birth plan. No consent was given. So then a fraudulent securities instrument was still created, even though he said that birth plan. They still considered his son's cord and placenta as a dead twin, right? So they went ahead and did that, even though that was in his birth plan. They really messed with the wrong guy, Jason, right? So they said that he contracted with them, but he didn't. So they tested him to see if he knew what he was really talking about in court. So he believes, he said in court, that we're here to live and experience this planet and serve God, not as collateralization, right? So they make us the collateralization of the living, and that he's created a legal instrument so it's no longer in their hands. He has legally removed it. So it's now known as a public fraud. It's called a perfected claim. You're all going to have to research this on your own. I can actually put a link in of him describing this much better than I, right? These are just the headlines of it. So something called a final declaration has occurred under law. It is now a fact in law, and there is no debate. Anyone can see it. Anyone can bring it into any court case that they have, anyone they like, anywhere in the world. They are now, these people, the financial institutions, are now the debtor of the living. It's been flipped in UCC 1. It's a reversal, and Nasara Jasara is apparently now lawful and in essence. So there is a criminal and a C and open for other people. I always talk about the UCC, which is the Uniform Commercial Code. Now, this Uniform Commercial Code, you would have...
Wait a minute. I guess it ended and I didn't realize it.
Okay.
Did we catch?
So, no, that's interesting
So-
because this frees up the fact that people can collect their bond. And that was the whole thing. Everybody wanted to get to a process. They wanted to be able to collect the bond of themselves. So, and no one else can do it. So I'm wondering how this is going to play out so people can do that.
Well, it is. It's amazing that this one person was able to do it like this. I mean, this means that, like it says over here, all institutions holding, trading, or benefiting, and it's the same thing as I read before, but just to emphasize the point, from fraudulent birth certificate securities are now subject to liens enforcement and lawful asset seizure. The lawful claim is now globally enforceable immediately. This filing is binding and in effect as of March 10th, 2025. Any attempt to obstruct, delay, or deny its validity constitutes commercial dishonor and immediate liability. Relevant authorities, impacted institutions, all subordinate entities and parties engaged in fraudulent birth certificate-based transactions are subject to enforcement, including United States Treasury, Internal Revenue Service, Federal Reserve, and member banks, Bank for International Settlements, all central banks, IMF, World Bank. The banks are going down. Because that's exactly what they use is our birth certificate. Any institution or entity engaged in transactions derived from fraudulent birth certificate securities is subject to lien. Anyway, I was just amazed that I just found this because it's kind of funny. I'm supposed to go to court in not too long, and guess who's going to send this to them?
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be great.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. When I started doing research on that, the thing is it's like, okay, what level do we get to exchanging our bond of ourselves, our own personal being? And they wouldn't release it. They wouldn't give us information because they never released it back to us because now it sounds like the banks were holding everything. So I think this is going to cause a lot of questions of, okay, now release it back to us, the people. That we own us ourselves, our own being, our own soul owns it. Give the fund back to the person that wants it.
Yeah.
It has the vessel over it. So that's going to be interesting how that plays out on that level. I want to talk about the Holy Land because I talked about that was the last war, that was going to go down. That was going to be the last process because everything that's burning right now, the ground had to be.
Is it burning in Jerusalem?
Yes.
It is, because I hadn't had a chance to see that, but I heard it. I just saw some headlines, but I didn't have a chance to look into it.
And they always said it was the last one because this was important that goes down, because everything that's in the ground, and I would be paying attention if it's coming from the ground up again, because there's so much hidden things underneath the ground, but there are some evil things underneath the ground too. So they always said that was going to be the last war. So it's the last battle in a different way, but it's going to be interesting how this ends, because they always said at the end of it, when it's quiet and subtle, then you will look to the skies and see the light in the sky and the golden city that will appear. So that's the thing. It's always been over that land that something has to appear. And I always talk about that star coming in, and I think that's the place that's going to start. I mean, because I've always said over that area, because they hid so much underneath there. So I think people really need to keep an eye on in the sky above it, not just the ground, keeping you occupied with the ground, be paying attention above the sky of it, because it's important that that's happening. Because I think when Trump went over there for the funeral, I think they were starting taking more stuff out of the Vatican too that needed to be taken out. So those are the two biggest places I've been waiting for them to surface of the ground. So it's important that happens. So,
Do you want to take a question, or you want to keep going on?
Yeah, no, we can take some questions.
Okay. This was, I don't know if you've heard anything recently about, is May the month when Social Security recipients will be receiving it.
I've been seeing that, and I'm feeling that too. They're supposed to get $5,000 bonus on top of the normal pay. So we'll see how that works.
Oh, okay. So you're feeling it too?
Yeah, I'm feeling it too.
All right. Okay, cool. That's good to know. All right, let's see what else we got here. I don't know what this one's about, but I can see. What days are your third eye training? I'm going away the first week in June. I would like to.
It is May 22nd, I think. The first day I'm doing a webinar, first time for a third eye training. But I'm pretty sure it's the 22nd. It's the 22nd. So if you miss it, we'll figure out something else. But I think I'm going to end up doing 2 classes on
that. I should come to that one. Anyway, okay. Here's a question. Let's see. Will we be able to turn in our birth certificate for money?
Yes, you, as the whole soul person, as that vessel, yes.
I hate that word person. It's been used against us.
But it's your soul that was the value, and you are the only one that can turn it in.
I wonder if that's part of what they were saying that would be in the your quantum account.
Yeah, I think that's part of that bond. It's you're seeing that big amount because they are the ones who held that bond, and now we get to receive it back. That's
this is good. Do I identify as a dog? It was funny about that. I had just seen are you familiar with Bonner's organic soap? Okay, I use it. Dr. Bonner's organic soap. Well, just recently I saw him in a picture, and he had little ears on, and he said he identified as a cat. I had no idea. I mean, I'm thinking, God, I thought this guy was really cool. He's got these organic soaps, and now he looks like a crazy person, right? But if you identify as an animal, then they can't use it. They can't use the birth certificate stuff against you. But you don't have to do that anymore because of this new filing. So that's really cool that that has happened. I thought the guy had lost his marbles, and there are a lot of people that are losing their marbles out there. So.
Oh my goodness, it's a liberal line. That's I tell you that.
Really? Oh. So let's expose it. I wonder what this is all about. Replacer. What is that supposed to mean? I did not pay for this. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to pay for licenses anymore. They're unlawful, just like your property taxes, just like your
kind of things that's unlawful. Yeah.
What's it going to take? Now, I know some people who are working here and their employers are still taking income tax out. When's that going to quit?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the state, you guys got to see that the state, you've seen the federal, but the states they either have to start pulling their money and saying, you start doing it this way, you're not getting funding. They have to stop being the mafia and stop doing the unlawful things they're doing. So with the judges, this is the thing with all these judges going down finally, because they're the ones that uphold everything. Once the judges go down, there's no one left to impose it.
And the judges are a big part of the problem.
Yeah, they're the biggest ball out there.
It's become very obvious from what they've been doing.
Yeah, so once they take down the judges, there's no one to implement it no more. Because the townspeople will take over the Department of Police, and because they're corrupted too so they're either going to abide by the citizens or they're going to be taken down.
Because, well, like I was saying earlier, the law enforcement euphemism used to be slave catcher. If you look it up on Wikipedia, you'll see that, historically speaking. But that is how the process starts. When they stop you and they ask you for your ID, that starts the process to attach to your trust account. They start the process. So it's attached to a statute, it's attached to a bond, and then it's attached to your trust account for them to steal from it, basically, is what it boils down to.
Right.
Do you have any, somebody's asking when the matrix is going to go down. It's in process right now, I would say. What about you, Jenny?
Well, I mean, most people that are already perceiving into 5D, we already feel it. We already feel it's gone. I think it's a way that you look at something, whether you decide whether it's there or not. Because it is a conscience of looking at it and conscience of fear or control. Because it's a path you take. It's already gone. I already feel that it's gone. It's nothing to hold anything up anymore.
Right. And this just even, it's like if it was hanging by a thread, it just broke. The thread just broke because your all capitalized name means a corporation. They turned us into corporations, each and every one of us, just like every single agency and government program out there is a corporation. And non-governmental, like the FBI, the CDC, all of those, they're they're private for-profit businesses.
Right.
How many people knew that? They thought that they were.
You know what it is? Jesus needs to flip the damn table.
That's right.
Just flip the table and get it over with. I'm just saying that needs to be just flip the table. That's all that needs to happen.
Well, somebody's asking, do y'all think this is what Trump was talking about when he made some sort of bill with straws?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I missed that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, it's been a while, but yeah, I remember when he was talking about that.
I missed that one.
I mean, even today, when I heard back from my attorney, they're like, do you want to change your name? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But so then they're like, well, for things to change, we might leave it open and you can make a decision later if you want to change it to a different, because things are changing in a different way. So I'm like, yeah, I want to, if I have the authority to do that later, I will, but I want to wait till things kind of flip over.
Yeah. That's kind of tricky when you've been under one as a public figure for a long time under.
Well, I know I've never used that name though, publicly. So, I mean, the whole thing is just the legal stuff, getting rid of it.
Oh, I thought Lee. So Lee is okay.
Lee is my
didn't understand.
Not his name. No way.
Ah, okay. That's good. Okay. Somebody's asking who set up our bonds for how much. They're started with a certain rather high amount, and then they are traded on the markets. I mean, each time you get married, each time you get divorced, each time all different kinds of things. Whenever they happen, it creates another bond. It creates another way for them to trade on the market. I mean, we're traded. That's the way it's been going. So
yeah, it needs to stop.
I do believe this is. I do believe it true. This means we are free.
Right.
But be aware, they will continue to try as best they can to operate business as usual. So this is where it's very important that you educate yourself and you stand up to them and say, that's not what and then you got the proof. Some of these things you can use as proof. Let's see.
Yeah, so if they're doing the birth certificate, I wonder what they're going to do with the marriage certificates.
Yeah, that's
they're not unlawful by the state in the first place. So that should be just completely dismantled in the first place.
Well, yeah, they just pull it in order for them to profit from it. That's all. It's all about money. Everything is about the acquisition of money. And these people in these positions of power and law are some of the greediest people that ever walked the face of this earth. And that includes a lot of attorneys. You don't see many of them ever volunteering their work for nothing, do you? And for the smallest thing, they want a big retainer fee right up front. And most people can't afford that. And then they say, oh, you can get a public defender. It's not a defender. It's a pretender who's paid by the same court as the prosecutor and the judge are. So, there's some real issues there when it comes to any kind of legal anything. It's not lawful. It's legal. Lawful is natural, like common law. That's lawful. This admiralty maritime law is not natural, and it doesn't work in your favor at all. In common law, it's innocent until proven guilty. In maritime law, it's guilty until proven innocent. And if you haven't seen a couple of the readings that I did on video by Thinker 2, I would highly encourage you to watch them because they're short, easy to understand, and it explains this quite nicely. So, yeah, I wonder who thought up the placenta BS. That's freaking insane. Well, that's nothing. They have the doctor is like the dock, and the water is
right.
Is when you break the water to have the baby. I mean, come on, it's unreal. It really is.
Their games and all their bullshit. It's just it's ridiculous. And, it's down to, and that's the whole thing. I understand that the DOGE is doing a lot, but I want the states down. I want the states to start to show that they're taking them down.
Yeah,
the state levels. That's the thing. The corruption is such a deep state level. That's what we need to start dismantling. And I know he's doing it through education, and he's doing it through many ways of not giving them money and starving them in a different way when he should. But to cut them off the knees.
Right. Well, the state of, fill in the blank, no matter what, state it is, state of, they're all corporations that were tied to the District of Columbia United States Corporation, as they're kind of like franchises or whatever. So when that's taken down, that brings, like you said, that's where it's got to filter back to the states. They got to recognize they're not what they used to be.
Right.
So Jenny that question was asked already.
Yeah, we already answered that question.
Yeah, sorry. This thing must have moved back where it was or something. Oh, here's somebody's asking you. Jenny, did you read our Real Raw News article about Trump at funeral?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. Sorry about that, Jen. I didn't either. Let me see. Somebody asked, what's the best healing frequency? There's a number. It depends what you're trying to heal, I think.
No, the one I start with. No, mine is 170.
170. Yep. That's the healing frequency to heal what? Just healing in general?
Well, when it starts I always start at 170 because it starts a basis, a balance, and then I go up from there. But I play that, animals, and when I have coffee in the morning, it's 170 to begin. So.
Oh, this is a good question. I don't know. We heard about it, but then it got quiet. When are the Doge dividends to be released? What about sovereign funds?
And this is the thing, and I keep thinking I think it's going to be released, but I think they're trying to get it up to a certain amount that they want to release it to us, not just $5,000. I think they want to give us more than that.
Well, we could always take it in more than one.
I know.
If that's it. So, okay. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't know that either. Jenny, Candace Owens has turned her back against Trump. Is she being controlled?
I don't think that's Candace Owen.
And is she a he? Oh, okay. Somebody impersonating her.
And maybe? I think if you go look back at her background of her husband, you'll be surprised. Okay, I'm just looking for questions here. So the thing is, they still on the debt clock. They haven't, they still got the income tax and all that stuff lightened out. And that tells you a lot of what's going on. And they just need to surface it to the top because they need these corporations need to stop taking out for taxes. See, and that's a state level again. You need to get them to stop doing it.
That how the stock market?
And I think they're going to have to tell the employees, the employer, release the money back to the employee out of that account that they build it up in. You're going to have problems with that too.
Yeah, they probably use it until they have,
I'm just saying, it's just going to be some red tape on every area to get that back to the people.
Yeah, because just like I said, they're going to keep trying to operate business as usual. They don't want these changes. And if they think they can fool the people long enough, because they do think Americans are stupid. And I think it's up to us to show that we're not stupid. There may be some people who are, but I don't think the vast majority are. At least I hope not. Just remember, they're asking you, should we get a real ID that is currently being mandated?
I don't think so.
No, neither do I. Okay, somebody's asking me, how do we get our birth certificate back in our possession in Pennsylvania? Get it until you're
follow
years old.
Instead of the protocol, then they have to have a process where they can complete it and not just say, okay, we got it. I know a lot of people have started it and they have no way to complete it. So that's the thing. They've got to do some investigation, and there's always got to be the first person that does it. So I'm sure someone's going to push it all the way now.
Yeah, this is information that we showed in the beginning of the show that I would encourage you to share with others. Go over it again and know it well and share it with other people, because it's big. It's really important that people get educated about it. Ignorance is darkness. Education is power. Or knowledge is power, I should put it that way. Well, somebody's asking, I don't know about this, but don't we need our birth certificate for future use, like identification for appointments?
I think
The birth
that's
certificate's
it's all going to
you've
change.
never been able to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all going to change.
And yes, Marcy's absolutely correct. Mandate is not law. If they tell you it's mandated, that doesn't mean you have to abide by it.
Right.
You still have a choice.
So I think we're getting ready for some hairy weather that's coming. So I think we're going to see a lot more tornadoes, a lot more flooding. California's it's not going to be an easy summer for them. And a lot of earthquakes are still coming. So I think we're in a maybe just a little bit of a pause, but it's going to start up again. You know, we're just in a pause stasis of this right now, but it's going to start rolling up again and having storms again. So I don't think it's going to calm down at all.
Can you answer this question, Jenny? It says, where are the funds for our account? Where is the account? I don't know.
That would be the Treasury Department, and then how they put it through the quantum system. This is the thing that people are not thinking about. People get scammed all the time, and they have to secure that you will not get scammed through getting your funding and your money. And you got to look at, everywhere online, everybody gets scammed. I mean, how many times do you go into Telegram, you get, everybody's trying to sell you or get you to buy XRP or a bunch of stuff. It's all a big scam.
Yeah, I've had people trying to get me to sign up for a quantum finance account. Sign up for the account. You got to have your account ready to go. Blah, 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 blah. Going, no.
No, you want to go to the banks when they tell you to go, and not give any of that information out online anywhere. So I think it's a big scam that they're trying to get access to it.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get your information, and then when the finances come through, they'll be able to rip you off some way, somehow, however they do that. Yes, we are worth millions. Yes, we are.
So with the storms and then stuff that's happening over the Holy Land, and then activity in the sky you want to be paying attention to. And like I said, sounds are already changing in our world and how it's affecting us. And then I also have been seeing where there's a lot of posts about the med beds. And again, I think people get sucked into the scam because it's all through the military. None of these corporations that are doing it are qualified. It's through the military that's going to guard that for a long time. So none of these people that are acting like they know about it, they don't have the background. So, and they'll be notified. There's no signing up for it or anything. It's just they know what's wrong with you already. So everything's for the quantum. So I know that I keep seeing that chick that says that she can get people signed up now and all that stuff. I'm not going to mention her name, and they got an email and it goes straight to Telegram. This is the thing about this. For the real organization, it is not going to be a Gmail. Ever. Ever. It's an org. It would be any government organization does not have that type of email address. So they need to shut her down. I'm just tired of it.
Oh, are you talking about
Sky? Yeah.
Sky Lady, the Sky
Yeah.
Lady, the lady in the sky?
Yeah, scam Sky.
Okay. Well, I heard, I don't know if there's one that's real and one that's fake, or are they it's all fake, whatever.
It's not protocol the way they would do it. And what I've talked to someone that's working with those, and they're not, the way that they're doing it is very secretive. So it's just not, it's not protocol. But you know what? That when it flips, they'll be gone and they won't be around.
Buckshot says, "I'll take monthly payments."
Yeah, exactly.
So will I. That works for me too.
Yeah.
Ooh, I heard her husband was a Rothschild. I don't know who she's talking about.
Here, I'm gonna her out real quick. Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. I saw a zero deposit from U.S. Treasury. Me, same here.
Yeah, so this is the thing. All these, we get down to certain layers of stuff that's really happening with the medical beds, med beds, and all these real societies. You're going to see the real ones that are really working on it, and how you're going to sign up different. Everything's going to be through the government in a different way. So then that scam won't work anymore. No one's not going to buy into it. It'll just disappear. So I'm just telling you, you're going to see a lot of that discovered.
This is a good comment. Collective consciousness and awareness needs to be on par for things to be released to avoid chaos. That's where education is so important. And basically, we're the news now, because you can't rely on mainstream media anymore. They obviously have lied to us repeatedly over and over and over again. They caused the death of millions of people because they wouldn't let the truth come out.
Right. Well, they're going to be prosecuted too.
And rightly so.
But then again, there are the truthers that are in there mixing that up too, on purpose too. So there is some.
What do you mean making? What do you mean making up?
Well, some of the truthers they're putting the fear out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
to mix it in, and that, so they're, like I said, you just follow the sponsors that pay them, and then you'll find the truth.
Yeah, that's follow the money trail. Some of the so-called truthers, it's all about the money more than anything else.
Yeah, it is. At the end, or donations, that's the whole thing is, I don't know.
I ask for donations, and I'm not ashamed of it, because
I know I'm not talking about
resources.
that. I'm talking about the intentions.
Well, it gets misinterpreted by people sometimes. Redemption centers, that's what instead of banks, supposedly.
Right, and that's gonna have everything that you need, and those are the appointments for everything, and that's what I feel it is, and it's all in one system. So all these people,
will Portland, Oregon experience a major earthquake?
they've asked that several times, and Spirit always tells me no. There might be some cracks that go on there, but there's no earthquake. They don't show that.
But LA, that's a different story, right?
Oh, yeah. LA is going to be bad.
Are storms going to be throughout the month of May?
Yes.
I think
May and June.
June too, huh?
Mm.
Are you talking about the weather storms that they're going to be throwing at us? Is that the storms you're talking
They're
about?
not going to be normal storms. That's the thing. We're not having normal storms. We're not having normal tornadoes, and we're not having normal fires or normal earthquakes. It's not in a normal way at all. You know, it just seems like it's wiping out certain areas and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
And you've seen the hail, the size of the hail. You don't have hail like that in a normal storm. Like, again, do you guys smell rain? And you're not smelling rain the way it used to smell. It doesn't have that
That's
clear
so
breeze.
true.
This is not rain.
It doesn't clear. It's like that or that after a thunderstorm smell.
That freshness, yes, it's not
very
there.
fresh. Yeah.
And I know that Trump is getting ready to arrest all these chemtrail pilots. They're getting on that shit right now.
Good.
So
good.
Which they need to.
Yeah, somebody's got to fly those planes. They say that there are men that have no family and things of that nature, and they're all
they
about
don't
the
care.
money, so,
yeah, you can't take it with you.
Apparently, they think they can.
No. So I mean, so with the storms, that stuff going on, and then expect a lot of stuff being more surfaced out of the ground, that they're going to start to reveal a lot of things. And then I had a dream the other night. I kept seeing the red water again, like a lot of it. So that's going to happen. Wow. Mm-hmm. So,
is there a certain place that you see it at? Do you know where it's happening?
Well, I think this is coming out of Antarctica. So I think a lot of things are being revealed and all that stuff. But I mean, then they have to start to actually show you about the ice walls and stuff like that too. The trueness of that we're dealing with as well. I mean, the oceans are reacting in a different way. Mammals, all that's reacting in a different way. Something's coming. So I just think there's going to be a different type of, it's not snow, but it's a lot of water, so we need to get prepared for that. I see a lot of water everywhere.
Wow. Do you see places going underwater, or are we just talking flooding?
Well, Louisiana has always been the one that's going to go under. They've always told me.
All underwater?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
New Orleans is not going to be around.
How far up to?
I got a map on it. I have to bring it back up, but I did a drawing on it.
Oh, okay. So but does it cover most of the state or just the lower half?
Lower half. Where the swamplands and stuff.
Okay, here's one.
And then a lot of activity in the sky at night. I mean, different lights showing and appearing at night. So you got to be paying attention. You got to be really paying attention. So now we're going into summer, you know, that we have the option to be outside a lot. Pay attention what's going on above. So you got I wonder how they're going to play out this Satanist Catholic stuff. They're going to, whether this whole option of bringing in another father, which it doesn't do any good in the world because they're all a bunch of perverts. That whole religion needs to go down. They need to bring it down for what it is, a Satanist. And I think all the churches, they're going to start to see them attached, combined, of how bad it is. So the churches are something that's next that needs to start to be shown.
Mm-hmm. Religions in general, as crowd control and divisive organizations to divide people. This is my religion's better than your religion, blah, 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 that kind of thing.
Right.
And it's interesting how the religions have this idea, like with the Jewish religion, you're a goyim. With the Muslim religion, you're an infidel. With Christianity, I guess you're a heretic or whatever. But anyway, it's like, if you don't do what I believe or what my religion says, you're
Right.
going to hell or whatever.
So, I mean, you got and that's the thing. And then, so you see this false prophet they put up right after the Vatican process went down, and it's because they want to put fear. So the Catholic Church is always good at, like, when they lose control, they put fear out there. So everybody's worried about this prophet. I say to the prophet, fuck you, where have you been? You know what I'm saying? It's all a whole prop, a whole thing. Bring whatever you're going to bring. Say whatever you're going to say. You are another one that's just another prop that they put in at the right time. So, I mean, God's army's here.
And always a distraction.
Oh, I know. It's just stupid. And people just get into it.
I'm going to tell New York to contact me at.
So, I mean, so there's all these distractions. There are going to be more distractions they're going to put in front of your face as things are getting dismantled in certain phases and everything. It's just going to keep coming. And everybody should be kind of used to it by now. I just think that I mean, it's a rough ride, a little bit of a rough ride, that things are not going to be a normal way. You're not going to be able to get Uber. You're not going to be able to get DoorDash. You're going to have to make your own food for a couple days. I mean, just being prepared for that in that way is important.
Yes, it is. Do you know where that is in Louisiana? Carolina? I don't know where that is. So we would need to know more on that. I don't have a clue either. But if it's in the southern part of Louisiana, it's not good.
You know, the thing is, they keep telling me, listen to the sound in the sky. And that's the thing where what's my next signal that I would like to tell people? And I'm saying it's sound and vibration. They're like, listen to sound and vibration now. That's what they're telling me.
Do you think religion will be the last to go? That's what.
No, I think it's starting to go.
So, flooding around Biloxi, Mississippi area, will it be gone? Do you see anything about Mississippi?
Yeah, I still think there's some flooding going to come in the next 2 months.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, it says the Muslims are trying to take over Texas and no one is talking about it.
Well, I don't think that's going to get very far.
Didn't they come out and say that, I think it was Texas, I'm not sure, that banned Sharia law?
Yeah, they just did it. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to get very far. I tried to do that in the farmland. It's not going to work.
Somebody's asking, do y'all think we are part of soft disclosure? I sure post on Facebook and X. So why? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you, New York. Okay.
So, and I also think that the 4th of July is going to be a different celebration this year. So I do feel like there's going to be a celebration that's coming with announcing.
Would you expand on that, please?
Well, what I think, and I think it has to do with gold and silver and the XRP and abundance.
Oh.
So I do feel that there's going to be some type of different celebration of looking at independence in a different way.
Now somebody's asking, will the military provide food and water for those who can't afford to stack up?
Yes, they have it. They're going to have it rolling out in crates.
Okay, Here's another question for you. Jenny, in the Southern California of Anaheim down towards San Diego, will that be affected or safe?
The thing that I kept showing is down by Mexico that they're going to have this eruption of this crack, and then it's going to go straight up the coast to LA. So I just feel like San Diego's in the way, but it's not the main areas that I see. It's getting the chain effect.
Very good point here. Shirai is not U.S. Constitution friendly, not even close.
No.
My God, I can't. I saw this little video. I don't have it up right now, but it showed what has happened whenever a Muslim had taken over, and you look at the women, they go from normal dress to totally in black.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's disgusting. I don't know how the women even fully conform with it. I guess they get beaten if they don't. So I don't know. It's so inhumane. It's not even. Trump says a year of celebration. I hadn't heard that one. Okay, here's a question
Well,
for
when
you.
he's talking about the winning and everything, when things get, you're getting on the track. This is the thing. The DOG is getting on the track of expose. You got all this exposure, and it's all dismantled. Okay. So then when it comes down to implementing new stuff, putting them like little chess pieces, they're starting to do that. And then the mother load is just like the one I'm keeping an eye on is the IRS. When he shuts that down, and that's the beginning of everything.
So it's not technically totally shut down at this point, right?
Oh, I think it is. But what I'm saying is it's not to the public. It's not at the public.
Oh, yeah. We know, the regular general public don't know. That's
right.
the thing. Jenny, if and when will the U.S. experience blackouts?
I think they're going to start rolling. And I mean, I've always said it's not going to be all at once. I think it's going to start rolling. Where there is resistance, they will deal with it. And where there is not resistance, they're not going to end up dealing with it because they pull the internet and pull power to isolate the enemy and to control them. So I want to get the hell out of Minnesota.
Oh, that's interesting. Aspiring Alchemist says, even my military friend with high clearance says the military will bring whatever people need. There will be a number to call. So that's refreshing to know.
It's protocol.
Somebody's asking what is going to happen in Canada. The Liberals won the elections again. They probably cheated.
That is just a big play. I'm telling you, that's not the one.
Not true.
And I keep telling people it's not. It's another play.
Okay, here's one for you. Another one. Catherine Fitz talked about an extinction event and the government building underground cities for a chosen few. Have they been flooded, and will there be an event?
Where is this?
Catherine Fitz. I'll have to. Well, we are almost in an extinction event as humanity if we don't turn this around. Species. I didn't see this.
I mean, pretty much anything that's underground is pretty dark right now. I mean, I don't think they want to choose to be down underground right now in any place. That's
where a lot of the flooding and bombing is.
So I don't believe that is a livable anymore. It's not in the luxury place it used to be.
Oh, okay. I haven't gone. Somebody's saying that Trump talked about the year celebration at his rallies. Was he talking about this year, the 2025?
I think it was, but it's a celebration of, the abundance.
Okay, wait a minute. Here's somebody else was saying something about the 250-year USA celebration. Okay.
this is the thing too, that, you know, with the, at some point the exposure where you see the children, but that's the most important evidence that we need to focus on, and hoping that that evidence is starting to show. At some point they have to start to completely rip off the Band-Aid. So I think days are coming that they have to start showing these really scenes that we don't want to see, to give a reality of what's going on. Whether they're gruesome or not, I believe that those need to start to be seen to open the mind's eye for the truth.
Yeah, I wonder how much they'll show about what they do to
They're
children.
going to have to. There's no way around it.
Because nobody will believe it otherwise. I've already talked to people who don't believe it. You know, they
Right.
think that's a conspiracy theory. Yeah, Kath. Somebody's asking, is Catherine Austin Fitz a money person? Yes, she is. That's supposed to be her area of expertise.
Yeah.
Ooh. Somebody says that there are casting calls being sent out to people to act. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Again, the actors are getting tired of acting.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about that. If I'd want to participate in deceiving the public through your acting, I just don't think that's such a cool thing. Okay. Somebody said, yes, Memorial Day 2025 to July 4th, 2026 is what? I don't know what that's
Day of
indicative
celebration.
Celebration, or the year of celebration from 25 to 26, July 4th. Interesting.
So, I mean, the thing is just like I said, for me, when I look at things, I'm like, what's next? The film strip, the film of the trueness, the film of showing and ripping off the Band-Aid and putting it out there. That's what needs to happen now. So, so that's what I'm waiting for, is some type of stuff that you're gonna need the bucket for. They have to start showing a process of that. They're not going to do it in one day. They've got to start putting it out there now.
How do you see them putting it out there? Is it going to, just be on like?
I think they're going to show it in a. I don't think they're going to do it in just clips that you see. I think they're going to show it in a documentary way of how they're going to end up. They're going to use.
I know that
to start.
Mel
putting
Gibson. Mel Gibson is coming out with a documentary about pedophilia and child sex trafficking. So I don't know how explicit it will be, but I'm sure he'll do a very good job.
Right. So yeah, it's just that's what I'm waiting on, for the sounds, the earth to react, and I'm waiting for some verification of graphic details to be presented. It's just telling me that that's next. It has to. We have to. That gets us in that awe moment, pause moment, freeze moment, look moment, pay attention moment. This isn't good.
Okay. Somebody says, if Hollywood is down, why are these feature films still coming out? There aren't many feature films I'm aware of, but I don't pay attention to that.
I haven't been to the movies in years. I don't even care.
Yeah, same here. Last time I think I saw one, I was so disappointed I said I wouldn't go anymore. A documentary way would make more sense, really.
Yes. Because you want the truth, and you want to, I mean, so I feel like in these short film situations, they're going to have to do it and present it, and that's going to get people to look at it and pay attention to it. So, but it needs to be raw and not so much catering.
Caroline says, I want taped confessions. Mm-hmm. It's the only way people will wake up. They're supposed to include confessions, right? I wonder how they
Yes.
do that. That should be interesting to see.
And seeing them actually hung is, I think, is important. Seeing them walk upon.
I don't know if I want to see that, but it
I
definitely
think it's
needs to be
important to
done.
see it so people understand that this is a real deal, and how they reacted at their death, and they had no repercussions for what they said.
No regrets or no.
Mm-mm. They didn't care. Not at all.
Well, Houston, Texas be flooded.
There could be areas of, but not to the extreme.
Oh, geez. Sorry. Hang on. That was a surprise.
Okay. So, I mean, there has to be some realness that has to start showing, and the realness for the states of losing their power of what they think they have control over, and people implementing and standing up, and then the whole process of these film strips being shown.
Wow, how come I look so getting whited out? That's weird. Wow. That was strange. Okay. The military tribunals. Yes, that's what we're waiting for. Do you have any idea when the EBS will occur? Is there still going to
I
be an
believe
EBS?
it's going to be roaming.
Just like the light on or off.
Yeah. It's not going to be all at once. It's just going to be a roaming situation. That's the thing. And I've said that for a while. So it's just not going to be what people think in the 3D. It's not going to be that way.
Well, this is interesting. Do you know anything about this one? Oh, that's the wrong one. What happens is just as I click on it, it moves, and then I get the wrong one. Somebody said this one was interesting, I thought. Jenny, I told my friend, said Cleveland, Ohio is a sacred city. Anything else? I've never heard of that before.
I've never heard of that either.
Okay. Moving right along. Oh, Sky Pitsy said, a spirit visited. Maybe. That was wild. Oh, okay. Somebody's asking if you're going to write a second book in your spare time.
As soon as I'm actually, when I'm moving, and Jeep's coming up. We're getting things up, getting a new computer, and then I'll be working on it. I just got to get out of this situation, and it's soon. And once they'll start doing that. So we're getting all that set up, and everything behind me will be gone, and it's going to be a whole totally brand new modern place that I'm.
It's the ghosties Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. I don't know what that means. Is Ishmael Perez a prophet? I don't know what that means.
No.
Oh. The way you spelled prophet threw me off.
Yeah, no.
No. Okay. Yeah, no, I got that. It just didn't. It just threw me off at first. I don't know. Yeah, somebody's asking me about Give, Get, Send, Go, and they do keep a percentage. I don't remember what it is. And I don't know about this particular platform, which I might have to look into. That's a good idea, actually. Oh, that's interesting. Somebody says that someone that lives in my building said they have generators to keep things going for 1 to 3 months in senior housing. Well, that's good. That's what, probably a
and
good
that's the thing
idea to
too. I
have
mean,
it.
they understand they either have generators or these backup systems, because a lot of things have to be rolling out to keep things safe to a certain degree. And that's the thing. You can't have it completely shut down. There's no way it can have that. So, generators and all that stuff. But what I'm saying, that's why I'm saying it's rolling, and they've already been doing certain programs already. So that's the whole thing. In my heart, I'm asking Spirit, I go, what is next? The film has to be seen. Bear the witness has to be seen. Bearing the witness. You're not going to learn.
It's going to happen.
They just give you money and you don't bear the witness of what has happened. You know what I mean?
It's not about the money. It's about the children. And that
Yes.
witness bearing is critical. And that
So
the
people are
money
asking,
should be secondary.
they want the money, and I get it, but the most important thing is to bear the witness. You want to see the witness of what has happened, then to accept that, then understand the value of why you're getting it. That is the difference. That's what has to happen to roll it out to that way. It's important.
It's so important because it's the children. Nobody has suffered as much as the children have suffered. Even you haven't suffered the way they have from what has been done to them once they've been captured by these monsters.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm waiting for. Roll it. And I'm going to start saying, when I said to ring the bell, I'm like, roll the film. Roll the film, roll the film, roll the film.
Roll the film. I agree. Roll the film. Okay. Okay. Well.
So that's what I'm looking for right now. Water, stars, and the film.
Right. Firewater says that Jenny gave me already several months ago and said that I would be moving in 9 months. I received a 90-day notice that the house is being repurposed. The 90-day, wait a minute. The 90-day end will be in 9 months. Isn't that interesting? So, good job, Jenny.
Spirit.
Spirit told me, yes. Does Spirit acknowledge that they're going to roll the film here pretty soon?
Well, when they put it in front of me and they keep it repaying in my mind, that means something's getting ready to be released.
Oh, that's good.
It needs to.
Very anxious
because I want some of these liberals to start throwing up in buckets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And maybe everybody will stop eating at McDonald's then.
Yeah, I stopped a long time ago. Oh, yay. Unbelievable. Would you advise not to travel in the next couple months?
I don't see, it depends on, stay out of California, stay out of New York. Other than that, I think you're going to be fine. I'm not seeing anything red flag.
What about Florida? What's going to happen to Florida?
The big thing at that is there's something in the ocean that's going to crack open, be open, reappear. So there's going to be some change geographically with that. So I actually think this is a good thing. So whatever is going to open up there, it feels good.
You mean in Florida itself?
Well, I mean, in the ocean. And I'm going down there in July.
Oh, you're going. Okay.
Yeah. So
I guess they're probably wondering if is it going to be flooded and that they shouldn't be living there, kind of.
It's not a flooding situation. It's just a revealing situation.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
So if anybody wants to say anything on the media, we say roll the film. We want the film rolled out.
Exactly. Yeah. Somebody says, are they really going to show us satanic rituals like Hillary was involved in?
They have to.
They actually have film of that too?
Yes.
They had. Well, I guess so. That's what they used to bribe and threaten people too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Somebody was saying that Florida has sinkholes now today.
Yep, not shocked. That whole process of whatever's coming to the surface in Florida, they showed me that they're rotating. This is going to appear again. So we're going to see what happens.
Wow. Okay.
So they need to, the people need to start demanding and saying we want to see the film. We need to get to that point so they can appreciate the money that they're getting, because if you just give it to them without showing them the film strip, it's not going to do you any good. They've got to start to implement this film strip and start to show the truth. That's the whole process. There's not going to be any value with it unless that is part of it.
Well, they've been saying all along, we can't tell the people, we have to show the people. Well,
you have to show, and they have to start rolling the film.
Exactly.
So, that's the thing. And like I said, I'm going to Florida in July, and I'm thinking, what are the odds of me getting down there if something happens? Well, good. But anyway, we'll see how that plays out.
Well, here's one for you. Our governor is going to be replaced. Many of them have proven to be total traitors.
Yes. We don't need them.
There's a lot we don't need, and we're going to find out we don't need it, but we've been so programmed to believe that we do need them, or we do need people that we really don't need.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of young people on TikTok that are waking up, and they're waking up others. Young conservatives.
That is a good thing. I'm really proud of that. Finally, that generation's finally waking up. It's good.
Boy, we need it. Yeah, very important.
We need that generation to do it.
Okay. Well, we're getting close to.
Yeah, let's wind it down. Let's do the bell.
You want to ring the bells?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me answer this real quick. As far as Zelle or Velma, just my email address is all you need. I almost wasn't here this month. Thanks, and I want to thank everyone who has helped along the way, because I almost wasn't here this month because I couldn't cover everything. Anyway, but last minute people come through, so I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, everyone, and anyone who has helped. So, okay. All right, maybe let's just do the bells, and then we can call it a wrap.
Okay.
Okay?
Ready?
Okay, ready? This is for the children. Roll that down, roll that down, roll that down. Alrighty then.
So, yeah, I'm focused on our outer atmosphere, our oceans, our weather, and seeing some, other word to say, bloody hell, because that's what's coming.
It's
Because it
going to
needs
be
to be
hard to
revealed.
take. And once you see something, you can't unsee it. And
Right.
so it's going to really imprint in people's minds. And they're going to be horrified, absolutely horrified. And
Yeah,
rightly so.
It reminds me is one of the cases I'm working on Chance Eagleberg's case, and I got one of a guy that's been on that case they've been trying to arrest this guy over and over and over because he's revealing all the cops and how dirty they are and everything, and I'm bringing him on my YouTube, and we're going over the pictures because I did a lot of drawings on these pictures, and they're showing left and right on the information, and I'm trying to get the show done before they try to haul him off to jail and get that information out there, because it's nothing. That town is just full of Masons. It's Chance Eagleberg's case, and it's making some headway again, and they have covered that whole case up for a long time, and I believe that that's coming to an end. So,
What kind of case is it? Oh, the cops turning out kind of.
Well, it was a young guy who walked through the town, was heading back to Wyoming, and he didn't make it. And there's a lot of individuals involved in the situation, a lot of Masons involved. The cops are involved, hiding and covering it up, because there's a lot of things going on with different situations there. So now they're trying to find anything they can. The person that's doing that's opening up the case in a different way, they're trying to stop him. So it's not working. So anyway, I'm going to bring him on the show and talk about the case. And
let me know when you do that. I'd like to watch.
Yeah, that's going to be a hairy situation on that one. So it's coming up.
All right, everyone. Stay in the light.
Stay in the light. Good night.
And good night.
Ask them to roll the film. Roll the film.
Yeah. Roll the film. Roll the film. Yes, indeed. And love you all. Take care. Share this with everybody. Help wake people up. I know, or inform them and get them ready for the film to roll. Then they can't deny anymore. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Good night.
We have found our way. It's a brand new day, and we'll be making history. Are you with me? Won't you stay? We have come so far. This is who we are, and like the rising sun, we have just begun to play our part. This is the time we form the chorus. Lift your voice for those before us. We can rely on one another. Feel the pride, let's show our colors. We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now. Rise up, stand with each other. We are sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the control our fate. Destiny awaits. We are all the actors in the stories we create. Hope will be our guide. We'll no longer hide. When we roll like thunder, feel the wonder from inside. This is the time we form the chorus. Left your voice for those before us. We can rely